Hello and welcome everyone back to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan women's basketball live here today from Crisler Center. My name is Charlie Brigham, alongside me, William Gregory, and we are just a few short minutes away from today's matchup between the number 14 ranked Michigan Wolverines and the Toledo Rockets. William, how are you doing today?
Doing pretty well, Charlie. How about you?
Doing great. Recovering from a long weekend. For those who've been following WCBN Sports, you know, myself and Adam Bressler were across the pond in London for the men's basketball game, which, you know, for Michigan fans didn't turn out the way that they would have hoped. Lost to a very good number 19 ranked Kentucky team, and also lost Jalen Llewellyn to an injury near the end of that game. But looking forward to today's matchup, the Rockets against the Wolverines. We'll give you the starting lineups for both sides. On the side of the Toledo Rockets, it's Sophia Wired, Quenisha Lockett, Kara Goss, Sammy Winkonowitz, and Jessica Cook rounding out the starting five. And on the side of the Michigan Wolverines, it's Layla Felia, Leah Brown, Maddie Nolan, Cameron Williams, and rounding it out, arguably been one of, if not the best player in the Big Ten so far this season, in Emily Kaiser.
Definitely. Emily Kaiser, third in the Big Ten in scoring at 19.9 points, paired with the two other Michigan players in the Big Ten's top 20, Layla Felia and Leah Brown. It's a pretty dangerous three-headed monster at the front of Michigan's offense.
And you look at, we mentioned Emily Kaiser, third in the Big Ten in scoring. The two players she's behind, Caitlin Clark at almost 27.5 points a game, and Mackenzie Holmes sitting at just under 21 points a game. Those are, and have been, without a doubt, you take Naz Hillman out of that conversation now that she has moved on to the WNBA. I would say anybody you ask, those would be the two consensus picks for the two best players in the Big Ten. But Emily Kaiser is making a name for herself and forcing herself into that conversation. Just under 20 points a game this year at 19.9, tossing almost 7.5 rebounds. She's shooting over 60% from the floor. She's been fantastic.
Definitely, and I think it's ridiculous that Caitlin Clark is averaging 7 points more than anyone else in the Big Ten. When you consider Mackenzie Holmes is just only ahead of Emily Kaiser by a point. I did predict Iowa to win the Big Ten in women's basketball with Kellen Flynn in our podcast, just based off of the fact that Caitlin Clark can drop 40 on any given night. So I think the Big Ten is really entertaining this year, and Michigan, in my opinion, has really shown out after the departure of Naz Hillman, who was such a backbone of this offense. But now that she's gone, other players are finally stepping up.
You mentioned the excellence of the Big Ten. Currently in the top 25 in all of women's college basketball, Ohio State from the Big Ten is ranked third in the country. Right behind that, Indiana at 4. Moving down the list, Michigan comes in at 14. Iowa and Caitlin Clark, who we just mentioned, come in at 16. Maryland also sneaking their way in the top 25 at 20. So count them. That is Maryland, Michigan, Iowa, Ohio State, and Indiana. 5 teams out of the top 25. That's 20% that have made their way into the top 25. The Big Ten is absolutely stacked this year. It is going to be an all-out brawl to see who ends up in first place in the Big Ten at the end of the year.
And it seems like we've seen that in every sport this year. Football, field hockey, regular ice hockey, now women's basketball, and even in men's basketball, Michigan's just not involved in that conversation, so it's a little bit unfortunate. But the Big Ten is, I think, the deepest conference in every sport in the country. You can look at anything. Maybe the Pac-12 could give it a run for its money, but the Big Ten, led by the big schools like Michigan and Ohio State, but also backed up in other sports like volleyball by Nebraska and Iowa. It's just so deep from top to bottom, and that'll continue to be when USC and UCLA join in 2 years.
If Michigan isn't if the Big Ten and along with the Michigan Wolverines aren't the conference in all of collegiate athletics, they're up there. If they're not one, they're two. The only one, as you mentioned, the Pac-12, maybe. The SEC really falls off once you get past football. Their volleyball schools are very good as well. But it really doesn't have that top-to-bottom strength like the Big Ten or the Pac-12 do across the entire board. But we are just about set to go. Both teams have taken the court. Toledo in the all-blue, Michigan in the home all-white. It's going to be Cameron Williams and Jessica Cook in the circle to jump. And before we start, we'd like to thank you all for tuning in to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan women's basketball live here today from Crisler Center. Michigan looking to keep their perfect undefeated record, sitting at 9-0 right now. But Toledo has some storylines of their own. Currently, the Rockets are on a 13-game road winning streak, looking to extend that to 14 and snap the Wolverines' perfect season. And with the tip, we are underway. Cameron Williams wins it for the Wolverines, and they're going to be on the offensive attack. Kick to the corner for Nolan. Now inside to Kaiser. We mentioned her before. Has been excellent this year. Now inside. Cameron Williams spins to her right. Now back to her left. Hand off to Felia. One dribble kick out. Leah Brown driving downhill, and she's fouled. Stepping over and drawing the foul is Quenisha Lockett, and that is going to be huge for the Michigan Wolverines to get Lockett in trouble early. Hands down, best player on this Toledo team. 6th leading scorer in the MAC conference at 16.5 points a game. Leah Brown, short pull-up jumper, and it goes. That's 2 points for the Wolverines, and Michigan is now out in front. It'll be Wired to bring it up in transition. Leah Brown guarding the ball. Pass into the elbow for Cook. Now kick to the wing, back to Wired. One dribble with the left hand. Kick to the corner, it's Goss. Goss is a good shooter on the outside. Decides to pass that one up. Wired, lob pass inside for Cook, and it's stolen away by Layla Felia. Felia pushing in transition, looking up. Maddie Nolan showed her shot in transition, but decided not to let it fly. Pass up top for Kaiser. Hand off, Leah Brown. Shot clock down to 15. Long skip pass from Brown to Nolan in the corner. Nothing going yet. Kaiser, top the key, long 2. It won't go. Off the back iron, it's Wired pulling it down. Wired now up in transition, coast to coast, onto the left side. Might have gotten away with a carry there and barely passing out of transition before it's a travel call. That one on McConowitz.
The ball does not lie. Gets away with a carry called for a travel. Really nice play by Layla Feely on the previous defensive possession for the Wolverines. Sparked that a bit of a fast break offense, but Toledo had nice defense inside.
Brown brings it up slowly in transition. Kara Goss guarding her pretty much the whole way up the floor. Pass inside for Cameron Williams. Nice step-through move up with the left hand, and it goes. Williams and Jessica Cook down low are going to be battling all game long. Cameron Williams might have met one of the only players in the country who might be as strong as her. Williams definitely has her on the quickness front, though, and just as I say that, an up and under layup from Quenisha Lockett, and the Rockets are on the board. 4-2 sits the score. Inside for Williams again. She tried to turn, and Cook strips it away. Pushing in transition is Goss. Up with the left hand, fighting through contact, and it goes.
Michigan cannot be this soft in the interior this early.
Brown wasting no time getting it up in transition to Felia. Kick to the opposite wing for Kaiser. Kaiser driving downhill with the left, working on McConowitz. Pass outside, Leah Brown hesitates for a second, pulls a 3. It dropped pretty much all the way into the basket and rims its way out. The score still sits 4-4 with 7.5 to go in the quarter. Pass to the quarter, McConowitz, shoulder shot, driving downhill with the left. An awkward finish, but she puts it in. Went up with the left, swapped it to the right, and was able to get it off the glass. Pass inside, Williams. The Toledo crowd wanted a foul call as Cook hit the ground hard, but they got a free one there. Cameron Williams missed basically a wide open layup. McConowitz driving downhill. Kaiser steps over, and there's another travel called on Toledo. This one on Lockett.
That's a good break for Michigan because I don't think they were prepared inside to stop that inside drive for Toledo, and the inside defense has just not been there for the Wolverines so far.
First substitution of the game, it's going to be Garcia checking in for Cook. While Garcia does play the 5 for this Rockets team, she can shoot it, shooting just under 40% from beyond the arc this season. Felia driving downhill with the right hand. Trying to take a charge is McConowitz, but no call and no bucket as Felia sends the layup long. Pass in transition, 3 ball, won't go. That one from Goss. Leah Brown now pushing in transition, decides to slow it up. She was 1-on-3. Pass for Nolan, swung around the horn. Kaiser now in the left wing. Kaiser thought about the pass inside for Williams, now kicks it back out to Nolan. She'll now dish it to Cam Williams. A jumper from the elbow, not usually your game, won't go. Maddie Nolan pulls down a tough rebound, and there we are tied back up, 6-6. Wired probing on the offensive end now, kicks out. Goss swung around the horn, now all the way back to the opposite side. It's McConowitz. Pass up top for Lockett. We mentioned 16.5 points a game. She's only got 2 so far. Hesitation dribble, right to left cross, inside, up with the left hand, and she gets it to go. Brown pushing up in transition, wasting no time. The Rockets are up by 2, 8-6. Felia went hesitation dribble, tried to kick it back to Kaiser at the top of the key. No one was there, and Toledo capitalizes. The ball rolls into the backcourt, and Goss tracks it down, puts it up for a layup. And as the score goes 10-6, Michigan calls timeout.
It's about the worst outcome in the first 5 minutes, 4 and change really of this game for the Wolverines. Haven't played good interior defense. They've been sloppy on offense with a couple of turnovers, and they haven't been efficient on their own shots on the inside. Maddie Nolan gathered an offensive rebound, which is interesting. She was in there as the shortest player on the court for Michigan to put up a offensive rebound back up and in, but it just hasn't been there for Michigan on either side. Still only down by 4 points, but Toledo is here to play. They're out there hustling on every single possession. They don't care that Michigan's undefeated and they're the 14th ranked team in the country. They want to win and continue that road winning streak.
Michigan already with 2 turnovers less than 5 minutes into this game against a very scrappy Toledo team. That is not something you like to see. As you mentioned, their win streak looking to extend it to 14 straight road games that the Rockets have pulled out. Their current streak of 13 is the longest in the country. South Carolina, the prolific franchise at the top of the rankings. and Stanford, another
they're
very
pretty good too.
team. Yeah, I mean, we mentioned the top 25 earlier. Currently at 1 and 2 in the country in that order are South Carolina and Stanford. South Carolina with a perfect 8-0 record. Stanford has one loss at 10-1. And guess who that one loss came to? That would be South Carolina.
South Carolina.
So a 5:44 left to play in the quarter. Coach Kim Barnes-Arico discussing things with her team over there in front of the Michigan bench. And, William, I want to pose this question to you. For the rest of this quarter and really for the rest of the game, what do you think Michigan needs to do? Because so far through even under 5 minutes, it looks like they really came out flat.
Yeah, and they have. And I think to answer back from some of Toledo's possessions, they've chosen to go fast. But I think that they would benefit more from slowing it down on the offensive side. Calm down. Those turnovers haven't been a result of Toledo defensive plays. It's been Michigan offensive miscues, and playing fast will, fast and loose will get you to throw the ball over the court. If they slow it down, use their talent advantage to their advantage instead of playing into what Toledo to this point has been happy to receive as a gift. They should be in better shape, but I think it is a problem with Michigan's lack of a true point guard that they can't exactly settle into an offense in the half court as easily as some of the other top teams in the country. But we haven't seen some of their higher-level wings get involved either.
Toledo coming out of the break in a 2-2-1 full-court press. Michigan breaks it with ease, and the Wolverines also have their first substitution of the day. It's Kyra Evans checking in for Cameron Williams. Felia rejects a ball screen. Evans now gets the ball back. Swung to Felia in the corner. Inside for Kaiser, her first time inside today. Spins around, passes out of a double team. Maddie Nolan, her three ball up and off the front of the rim. Rebound going long. It was almost touched by Toledo, but Garcia able to box Felia out, and it's going to be going the other way. We're just tuning in. 10-6 is the score. The Rockets out in front. About 5 minutes left to play in the quarter. Leah Brown fights over a ball screen. Pass to Garcia. Her three ball on the way, and she's fouled. Might have sold it a little bit there. Kyra Evans is called with the foul, and she immediately turns in disbelief.
I'll have to see that on the replay, but definitely a good job selling it by the Rocket there. Michigan, that was an interesting possession to see how they'd handle Toledo in the half court rather than in the fast break. And they let up not really an open shot, but foul somebody on a three-pointer. You don't want to do that.
Garcia's first free throw drops down for her first points of the game, and the lead for the Rockets extended to 5, 11-6, Toledo out in front. As Elise Stuck heads to the check-in table. Garcia knocks down the second of 3. Garcia takes her time, deep breath, looking to extend the lead to 7, and she gets it to go. 13-6 the score. And another quick substitution. Evans will head to the bench after picking up that early foul.
Yeah, are we watching the men's team getting blitzed this early? It's a tough break for the Michigan team right now.
Toledo again comes out in that press. Michigan breaks it in a cool 4 seconds. And here's a matchup to watch. It's Garcia on Nolan on the perimeter. Pass inside for Stuck. Up with the left hand through contact, and it goes. Michigan had all sorts of mismatches there. That was Elise Stuck, who kind of plays the stretch 4 for Michigan, posting up on Sophia Wire, the point guard for Toledo. Lockett comes off 2 screens, jabs to the right, goes to the left, now spins back to her right hand and puts up a circus shot. It won't go. Kaiser almost travels as she falls down. And Leah Brown continuing to push up in transition with speed. And Layla Felia dribbles off her own foot. It's going to be McConowitz driving in transition. Hop step, and she's going to be called for another travel.
So I think those last few possessions were pretty emblematic of what I said in the last media timeout. Michigan needs to slow it down on offense. When they did that, they got a possession inside. Stuck hit an inside layup on a mismatch. When they try and go fast, it's another turnover. You got to use your talent to your advantage.
The lead for Toledo is 5. It's 13-8 with 4:11 to play in the quarter. Stuck on the perimeter, guarded by Garcia. Skip pass to the opposite side for Greta Kampschrader, who's just checked in for Maddie Nolan. Handoff, Leah Brown. Kaiser comes up to set a ball screen, and there's going to be a foul call that's going to go on number 22, Kara Goss. Goss picks up her first. That's the team's second of the quarter, and there's going to be a substitution. It'll be Jada Jansen checking in for Goss. So on the foul, shot clock resets to 20 all the way from down at 6. Brown inbounds on the sideline into Kaiser. Gets it right back, driving downhill with the left hand. Kick out pass for Camp Schrader inside, and there's another foul call. This one on Jada Jansen, who just checked in. She held Emily Kaiser.
Yeah, there's not much Toledo can do against the size of Michigan in the post other than foul, and I think that plays into the Wolverines' advantage.
So Michigan again gets a shot clock reset on the foul. Inbounds passing cleanly to Leah Brown. One dribble with the right hand. Pull-up jumper from the elbow. It won't go. Loose ball. And there's a foul call. This one on Elise Stuck. She was clashing the glass hard and hit Garcia on the side. So the lead for Toledo is still 5. It's 13-8 with 3:47 left to play in the quarter. Bringing it up in transition is Wired. Picks up her dribble way beyond the arc, but gets it clean to the opposite side. It's Jansen now. Jansen to Garcia. Garcia to Lockett. Has had a quiet start to this game. She passes to the corner. Garcia, one dribble. Pass inside for Jansen. Swung all the way around the horn. Wired from the outside, and it goes. 8-point lead for Toledo. It's 16-8. Brown up in transition. Behind the back, inside now. Kaiser up with the left hand through all sorts of contact. Her layup won't go. She's pushed over, no whistle. Running in transition is Wired. Kaiser finally returning to the play. A 3-ball on the way from Toledo. It won't go, and Kaiser pulls down the rebound. Again, Brown pushing up in transition right in front of the Toledo bench. It's Layla Felia. Her short jumper won't go, and Toledo tips the rebound to themselves. Michigan has yet to have a possession that really lasts over 15 seconds. They have just been putting it up as soon as they get their first look. Wired right in front of the Michigan bench to Garcia. Two dribble to the handoff. It's Jansen trying to go back to her right. Kick to Wired. Long 3-ball on the way, and it goes. Why not? Sophia Wired having a day so far. A team high 6 points and 2 rebounds to her name. And this lead just keeps getting bigger and bigger. It's in double digits now, 19-8. Inside, Kaiser misses the layup, and it's going to be tipped away. It's off Toledo, so Michigan will get the ball back. 2 substitutions coming in. It's going to be Maddie Nolan and Cameron Williams. They're going to give a quick break to Leah Brown and Emily Kaiser.
Michigan just needs to settle down and stop settling for poor shots. They're taking too many mid-range shots instead of settling for inside layups and three-pointers.
Camp Schrader to inbound. Has to get it off. Barely gets it off to Felia. A wide-open mid-range jumper, and that'll drop down. The lead cut down to single digits. It's 19-10. 2 minutes to play in the quarter, but it has been all things Toledo so far here in Ann Arbor. Ball swung all the way around the horn. Long 2 from Garcia off the right side of the rim. Felia pulls down the rebound. Pushing up in transition with the dribble. Wanted Williams inside. Decides to go to Camp Schrader at the top of the key, and her 3-ball drops. Timeout Toledo. It's 19-13. Michigan starting to get a feel for things.
One of the first breakdowns on defense on the outside perimeter for Toledo, allowing that three-pointer to just be wide open for Camp Schrader. Michigan relishes the opportunity to give that shot up to such a talented shooter. And pulling now within 6 for the first time in a while. The Wolverines, I think, have settled down a bit since that 11-point gap was the largest of the game, but Toledo on the offensive side, you have to give them credit. They've settled into what they want to do. They're slow, methodical, wait for the best shot to get open to take it, and that's why they have the lead right now.
Michigan wasting no time getting out of their timeout huddle. As soon as things shifted, or as soon as really Michigan walked over to their bench, they said about 4 words and then were right back out onto the court. They want to keep as much of this momentum going as they can with 1:45 to play in the quarter. Substitution for Toledo, it's Brewer has checked in. Brewer passes right over to Lockett, working one-on-one against Layla Felia. Into the high post for Garcia. A dribble handoff, now kicked back to Garcia. Her 3-ball on the way, and it goes. The Rockets just can't seem to miss right now, and then they've gone back to their full court 2-2-1 press. Stuck, breaks it with the pass. Filia, another long two. This one way off the mark, hitting nothing but backboard on the left-hand side. Lockett pushing in transition. Euro step, kick to the corner. 3 ball on the way, rolls off the rim. Goss couldn't find the bottom. Filia over to Campschrader, right in front of the Toledo bench. Williams and Garcia fighting down and low. Stuck comes over, hands it off to Filia. Now Williams comes to set a ball screen. Filia, pull-up jumper from the elbow. Off the left-hand side. Loose ball, and it's going to be another loose ball foul called on Elise Stuck. That's her second, and we're still in the first quarter. 2 substitutions come in. It's going to be Jessica Cook re-entering for the first time in a while. And also Jordan Hobbs will check in, and Emily Kaiser now heads to the check-in table. Stuck and Filia will head to the bench. 22-13, Toledo way out in front here, under a minute to play in the quarter. King working up top, now passes to Lockett, driving downhill into triple coverage. Kickback pass almost hits the feet of King, now inside. Cook, one dribble with the left hand, spins back to her right, might have gotten away with a travel, no whistle. Maddie Nolan pulls down the rebound, Campschrader to push up in transition. Shot clock is dead, there's 20 seconds left in the quarter. Nolan in front of the Rockets bench, she'll dribble it up. Clock now down to 13. Campschrader, 10 seconds to work. 22-13 the score, Rockets out in front. Pass, Hobbs in front of the Toledo bench. Left to right cross, loses her dribble, loose ball. Hobbs tips it over. Campschrader right at the buzzer. It's good if it goes, and unable to find the bottom is Campschrader. We end the first quarter. Toledo up big, 22-13. The Rockets have been all gas, no breaks so far.
And it's the perfect recipe for a mid-major school to hit all your outside shots, force turnovers, and make it seem like Michigan is playing an away game right now. The Toledo crowd has really turned out, and it's not a surprise. Toledo's only about an hour away from Ann Arbor, and there's always been a huge Toledo presence in the Metro Detroit area. But Michigan just playing hurried, settling for shots, not on their game, and their best players haven't really been involved.
The Rockets won the MAC last year, were picked to repeat as MAC champions in the annual preseason coaches poll, receiving 11 of 12 first-place votes. We mentioned this is a very, very good Toledo team. Story of the game so far for Michigan, really, as you mentioned, William, has just been their pace. They've been playing so fast. They've turned the ball over 3 times, and some of these possessions might as well have been turnovers. They've came up in transition, put up a shot with 25 seconds left in the shot clock, and hit nothing but backboard, and Toledo's just gotten it and ran the other way. Toledo, on the other end, has been very safe with the ball. They might have 4 turnovers, one more than Michigan, but 3 of those 4 were on travel calls. They've been very, very safe with the ball.
And there's no wonder why Toledo right now is on track for 88 points, which is a ridiculous number in a college basketball game, but it makes sense when you're shooting the Wolverines early in the shot clock, giving Toledo early offense in the fast break, and if they don't get what they want in the fast break, they're comfortable pulling it back out, settling into an offense, and searching for a shot. And when your rotations are poor on the three-point line, you let up open shots. And against a team like Toledo, who is a good team, even though they're a mid-major, they're going to hit a lot of those outside shots. And right now they're shooting above. They'll regress, but it's not a good recipe for Michigan on all facets of the game right now.
57.1% for Toledo from the floor, 50% from beyond the arc. They've been really fantastic. You look at the stats for Toledo again, 8 of 14 for 57% from the floor, 3 of 6 from beyond the arc, 2 of those coming from the hand of Sophia Wired. But the horn sounds, and we're just about set to go in quarter number 2. Michigan going to have to claw their way back. They cut the lead down to 6 at one point, and then Toledo went on another bit of a run. It's going to be Sammy McConowitz to inbound across from the scorer's table, right in front of WCBN zone, Kellen Flynn. Pass up top for Goss. The starters have re-entered for Toledo. It's Lockett working up top. She's got 4 points so far, and there's a loose ball. Kaiser pokes it away. Jordan Hobbs able to reel it in. Campschrader pushing up with the dribble, right to left cross, now back to the right hand. guarded closely by McConowitz. And again, matchups are key here. Emily Kaiser's being guarded by Sophia Wired, who's the point guard for Toledo. Pass up top. Camp Schrader inside for Williams, and there's a whistle. It's going to be Jessica Cook calling for a foul down low, her first personal.
Well, you mentioned Kaiser's matchup, and she's being shut out right now. She has no points, 0-3 from the field. Toledo's defense has just been stout on all levels of the floor tonight.
We mentioned the excellence of Emily Kaiser. A lot of that has come in the post this season. Obviously, one of the taller players and one of the more prolific post players, not only in the Big Ten, but in the country. And she's been playing mostly on the perimeter today. We say that Kaiser in the paint, working to her left hand, fighting through all sorts of contacts. She loses the ball. Williams puts it up, misses her layup, gets her own rebound. Now up with the right hand, misses it again. 22-13. Coach Kim Barnes-Rico shakes her head. Sophia Wired driving downhill, puts up a wild shot, but she draws the foul. It's going to be Jordan Hobbs called for her first personal.
And it's a tale of two offenses. We mentioned how well Toledo has been shooting, over 50% from the field and from three. Michigan shooting half of that right now, 28.6% from the field, only 25% from 3 on 4 attempts, but 6 of 21 overall is about as poor as you can get, especially when you're coming into this game undefeated, ready to take on a mid-major school.
Williams unable to convert on the other end. It's going to be Wired shooting a pair of free throws now, and she knocks them both down. 24-13, the lead back to double digits. Felia driving downhill, up with the left hand, high off the glass, about as high up as you could get it, and it goes. 24-15 the score now. Wired up in transition, has it poked away by Kaiser. Jordan Hobbs going coast to coast with the left hand, and it goes. Kaiser shows a bit of pressure in the full court. Now will drop back. Wired bringing it up in transition now. Hobbs guarding the ball. Toledo being pushed all the way back near half court. And it's now past the high post for Garcia. Williams guarding her closely. Dribble handoff. Garcia turning around, puts up an awkward shot, and it's blocked by Williams. Felia pulls it down off the tip. Kickback. Hobbs in transition. Bounce pass inside. Williams showed with the right hand. Goes up with the left towards the middle, and she can't find it. And there's a whistle called. And that's going to be on Emily Kaiser, and she's unhappy with that one. Sammy Minkonowitz threw her head up like she got fouled. Kaiser took 2 steps away, and then McConowitz fell, and then she drew the whistle.
I don't know if they have acting classes at the University of Toledo, but it seems like they do right now.
2 substitutions check in. It's Alyssa Crockett, the freshman, alongside her, Maddie Nolan checking back in. Camp Schrader and Williams head to the bench. Lockett working at the top of the key up to Wired. Wired now inside for McConowitz. Back outside. Wired, another 3-ball. Why not? That's 3 of them on the day for Sophia Wired. 10-point lead for Toledo, 27-17. 7:40 to play in the quarter. It's Crockett outside, and there's a whistle down low. Kaiser was held. It's McConowitz. And these are the matchups you want. Cameron Williams down low in the post has been being guarded by either Cook or Garcia all day, and they're just kind of banging around down there. Meanwhile, Emily Kaiser gets down there. She has a very good matchup as Crockett puts up a 3 and left way short. It's going to be an air ball and Toledo ball going the other way. And as I was saying, Emily Kaiser has a very, very good matchup down there in the low post. And we just saw what happens. Pass inside down low. McConowitz has to foul her or else she's just going to get blown by. Brown fights through a ball screen, now kicked outside. There's McConowitz, who we were just talking about, guarded closely by Crockett. Up to Goss, trying to drive downhill with the right hand. Doesn't really like to go left. 12 seconds on the shot clock for Toledo. They still hold a 10-point lead. Wired way outside, inside for Goss. Dribbles once with the left hand, kick to the corner. Garcia's 3 way long, finds Goss. It's going to be blocked by Nolan right at the end of the shot clock. Michigan has numbers. They're out and running. Brown, hesitation. She's hit. No foul called. The ball drives loose and Lockett. Nothing but open court in front of her, and she's got a layup. 12-point lead for Toledo. 29-17. Felia trying to slow things down at the top of the key. Driving downhill with the left hand. Kick to Crockett. Kick to Leah Brown now. 2 dribbles. Now to the elbow for Brown. Bounce pass inside for Kaiser. Up with the left, goes up with the right, and it goes. Fouled and one.
Yeah, before that shot attempt went in, I was about to just ask, what is Michigan doing on offense? They're playing patty cake around the three-point line, just passing it back and forth, but now they finally get it inside to their best player, who has a matchup that you would be salivating over, and she's finally getting on the board. Kaiser has a chance for one more.
This would cut the lead to single digits, and she knocks it down. Emily Kaiser's been fantastic from the free throw line this year, 51 of 55 for a cool 93%. Lockett retreat dribble into a trap, throws it off the leg of Layla Feely, and it's going to roll the opposite way and out of bounds. Michigan basketball. Fantastic hedge there by Emily Kaiser. There's going to be another substitution. Checking in for Alyssa Crockett will be Kyra Evans.
And Michigan really benefiting from the turnovers that Toledo is having problems with on offense. Last quarter it was the turnovers. Now it's just sloppy play.
6:19 to play in the half. Toledo up by 9, 29-20. Ophelia, top of the key, guarded by Lockett. Now swung right in front of the over into the Toledo bench. Leah Brown, mid-range jumper, and she knocks it down. 29-22 the score. Michigan trying to claw their way back. Wired pushing up in transition. Swung around the horn. Now Wired gets it back, standing right in front of Coach Kim Barnes-Arico. Up to Goss, top of the key. Kyra Evans hedges the screen. Kick to the corner. A wide open look for Toledo, and they're going to pass inside and a foul call.
And Michigan's been leaving that corner open for the most for the better part of this whole game. They've had a couple open shots, has Toledo, from there. The last one that was taken was an air ball for Toledo. Missed it.
There's Garcia in the corner. Step back, shoulder shot, now driving downhill with the left hand. Puts it up, sits on the rim for a second and goes. Seems like everything is falling for Toledo right now. 31-22, 5.5 left in this half. Pass inside for Kaiser. Squares up, jab step with the left. Now puts the ball on the floor. Spinning back through double coverage, and she's fouled. Again, there's those matchups that you like to see. Emily Kaiser standing at 6'2". You know, she's listed as a big, but she is so quick down low. Her footwork is so good.
Well, you mentioned it's not very common for a big to shoot as well as she does from the free throw line. And be such a prolific post player as well.
Kaiser knocked down the first on her and one. She knocks down the first of two here.
And now this is danger zone for Toledo, getting Kaiser active, shooting these free throws, getting down low.
Yeah, they had held Emily Kaiser scoreless for a while before she was fouled on the and one, and then has now knocked down a pair of free throws. We mentioned how good she's been shooting from the stripe this year. It's basically free points. It's called a free throw for a reason, and Emily Kaiser has showed us why. Bounce pass over to King. Driving downhill on Stuck. Fighting through contact, misses, gets her own rebound, puts it back up and in. Ophelia breaking the press, getting to the middle of the paint. Up through contact, and she's fouled.
And now Michigan finally getting offensive production, whether that be from nailing mid-range jump shots, hitting free throws, what have you. But really, I think the problem that's going to last the term of this game until it changes is the softness of their interior defense. They have not been able to stop Toledo drivers. They got lucky with one missed layup a second ago, but the Rockets able to gather their own offensive rebound, put it back up. And Michigan really has had no answer to stop Toledo from penetrating inside. They've had a few blocks, but as of recently, over the past few minutes, it hasn't been too hard for Toledo on the offensive side.
The point guard, Sophia Wired, has been absolutely incredible for Toledo. 11 points already over her season average, and we're not even at halftime yet. She cannot miss from beyond the arc. She's 3 for 3 from three-point range. Those are the only shots she's taken. Also knocked down both of her free throws. She's shooting 100% from both three-point land and the free throw line. Like I said, she just can't miss right now. Toss in 3 rebounds, and she's having quite the first half.
It doesn't really seem like any Rocket is really finding it tough to hit shots. Toledo shooting 54.5% from the field, still 50% from 3 on 8 shots. Haven't missed a free throw at all. Michigan's improved their shooting from the field by about 10 points since the last time I mentioned their percentage, but it's really just not looked good for Michigan on either side. And they've got a lot of work to do out of this timeout to try and claw back. At least this lead for Toledo is not in double digits like it has been at some points in the first half. They need to get their players active inside, and we've seen that with Emily Kaiser, but Cam Williams being 1 for 6 doesn't help.
Yeah, it seems like any time Michigan starts to put a little bit of a rally together, all of a sudden you look back up at the scoreboard and Toledo has somehow gotten those points immediately back. Again, the lead for the Rockets, 33-24 for 9 points, for 9 points. And you look at this game so far, Michigan just really hasn't been able to get anything going. Shooting 37% from the floor, 20% from downtown. Really the only things that have been falling have been Emily Kaiser shots from the free throw line. So with 4:45 left to play in the quarter, we'd like to thank you all for tuning in to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan women's basketball live here from Crisler Center. If you're not already, make sure to click that subscribe button and click the bell icon so you can be notified anytime we go live so you never miss a broadcast. We have all sorts of fun stuff coming up as we'll be heading down to the college football playoff as Michigan set to take on TCU. It'll be Zachary Linfield, Adam Bressler, Kellen Flynn, and Neil Sinha, the crew to send down there to Arizona. Ophelia misses the first of 2 and make that both of them as Garcia shoves off Cameron Williams as she grabs the rebound. 33-24, Wired up top. Ophelia guarding her closely. Wired driving downhill. Gets all the way to the baseline, now steps back out, trying to draw a foul, and she stepped out of bounds. You saw Ophelia whip her head around. She cut Wired off at the baseline, and Wired tried to go around her hip and threw her head up right as that whistle sounded, and Ophelia was in disbelief, thinking she got called for a foul.
And the Wolverines hope that will cool Wired off in all facets of her game.
4:20 left to play here in the half. Toledo still up big, 33-24. Ophelia up at the top of the key, guarded by Brewer. Ball screen comes from Kaiser. Ophelia steps out behind three-point line, puts that one way wide. A great rebound from Greta Kampschrader. Dives out of bounds and in one motion throws it off the leg of her defender. Michigan will get the ball back underneath with 8 seconds on the shot clock.
Now, I understand that shoot or shoot and Layla Ophelia is a crucial part of Michigan's offense, but she's been very cold tonight, and she just continues to heave up shots no matter where they are on the floor.
Kampschrader to inbound. Michigan 8 seconds to work. Into Leah Brown. Pull-up jumper from the short corner won't go. Loose ball on the ground. Williams dives on top of it. It's going to be a jump ball called. That's going to be Michigan basketball. Leah Brown seems to be a bit shaken up after that play. She hit the ground first. Wired jumped right on top of her. So on the jump ball, shot clock resets to 20. It's going to be Kampschrader to inbound on the baseline again. Leah Brown trying to come off a double screen. Fighting through all sorts of contact. Driving downhill with the left hand. Now steps back. It's poked out of bounds. It's going to stay Michigan ball. Toledo wanted a charge call.
And it still looks like that leg is giving Brown trouble. But she's going to stay in the ball game.
Here's some loud boos from the Toledo crowd.
Like I said, they're out here in full force.
Between the two dead balls, only 4 seconds has gone off the game clock. Brown to inbound on the side. Up top for Ophelia. She's got 15 seconds to work now. Under 4 minutes to play in the half. Beautiful crossover. Kick over to Brown. Now inside for Kaiser. Squaring up. 2 dribbles with the right hand. Through contact. Up with the right hand, and it goes. Kaiser starting to put things together here. 7 points, a team high for Emily Kaiser. 33-26. Garcia on the perimeter, guarded closely by Cameron Williams. Wired cutting for a back cut. Inside, Kaiser tried to take a charge, but Wired Good body control there. Now Emily Kaiser coming out to guard Wired on the perimeter. Kaiser tried to draw a foul. Wired steps to the right, puts up a three, won't go. Loose ball. Garcia pulls it down. Shot clock resets. Inside, up with the right hand for Brewer. She's blocked by Felia. Now in triple coverage, passes right into the hands of Greta Kampschrader. A fantastic defensive possession for Michigan. Kampschrader up top for Kaiser. Now swung one more. Felia, lob pass inside for Williams. Pulls it down. Tried to go up with the left. Had it tipped away, but Michigan gets a lucky call there. A foul on Justina King.
And like you said, Charlie, a really good total defensive possession for Michigan on the last offensive possession for the Rockets. But it still seems like every time Michigan patches up one of these leaks that they've had tonight, whether it be poor shooting, poor interior defense, poor shot selection, one of those leaks always springs up as soon as they get one covered up. That possession finally got it all under control after a couple offensive rebounds for Toledo.
Jansen checks in for King as Cameron Williams goes to the line to shoot two. She knocks down the first. Williams is 78% free throw shooter on the season and knocks that one down as well. The lead cut to 5, 33-28. Rockets out in front, and there's a foul called. Leah Brown jumped the passing lane and didn't get called for the foul on the initial tip, but as she spun, she's calling for a hold on Wired. And now Leah Brown trying to plead her case to the referee. Toledo to inbound from the sideline. Wired passes it in, now gets it right back. Double team coming to the corner for Jansen, driving downhill, floater with the left hand, and it goes. Brown wasting no time getting the ball inbound and getting it over half court. 25 seconds on the shot clock, 2:30 to play in the half. Kaiser on the outside, handoff for Felia. Ball screen coming from Cameron Williams. Felia rejects it, pull-up jumper from the short corner, won't go. A foul call that's on the floor. This one going to go against Kara Goss, and Cameron Williams, again, drawing another foul. She's in the double bonus, so she'll go to the line and shoot two. So Michigan in the bonus will shoot for the rest of the half. But for the Wolverines, they are in trouble putting Toledo on the line as well. The next foul will put the Rockets in the bonus. Crowd falls silent. Williams puts this one off the back iron. That'll put her at 2 for 3 from the line today. Brown, Kampschrader, and Coach Kim Barnes-Rico have a quick conversation in front of the bench. And Williams puts her free throw percentage up to 75% as she knocks down that one. 35-29, over 2 minutes to play in the half. Bounce pass inside from Makonowitz. Dribble to the left hand, pass outside for Garcia, three ball, why not? Toledo cannot miss right now.
Man, they just keep hitting everything.
Again, back out in the 2-2-1. Michigan breaks it with ease. Skip pass for Felia. Gets a ball screen from Kaiser, driving downhill with the right hand, now crosses to the left, steps back through with the right hand, layup won't go, loose ball, Toledo pulls it down. It's Lockett running in transition, weaving back and forth, Euro step through traffic, has it poked away, loose ball, Felia comes up with it. She has it tipped it away, but she recovers. Brown finally slows things down. Inside for Kaiser, squares up. Fights through traffic, up with the left hand through contact, and it goes. No whistle. Toledo wanted a travel call. (38-31). Toledo still leads by 7. 1:10 to play in the half. Michigan going to look for any sort of momentum going into the halftime locker room as Lockett drives downhill and is fouled. This one going to go on Leah Brown. That's her second, and now Toledo in the bonus. They'll shoot 2.
And Kaiser down low has gone to work in this second quarter, but it's really been the only offense that's been effective for the Wolverines. On an earlier possession, Layla Feely made a really nice move with her pivot foot inside, just missed the shot. It seems like everything she's doing is the right way to do it in this game. She just hasn't been making the shots.
Lockett's first free throw needed every part of the rim, but it drops. A 69% free throw shooter on the year. Second one, nothing but net. Checking in will be Brewer. She says McConowitz to the bench. Jada Jansen, the lone man up front, putting pressure on Leah Brown. 1 minute to play in the half. Toledo up by 9. Cam Schrader on the left wing. Pass inside for Leah Brown. Bites through contact. Shot won't go. Almost a loose ball foul on Cameron Williams, but she has the body control to step off. Brown tried to post up her defender there. Referee's letting the play down low. Wired, showed her shot, now driving downhill with the right hand. Kick up top. Garcia letting it fly right away on the catch and shoot. Kaiser with a block. Pass up to Cam Schrader. Shot clock is dead. 24 seconds left in the half. Cam Schrader's pass tipped, and Cameron Williams chased it down. Coach Kim Barnes-Arico in disbelief. No reason to go after that ball right there if you're Cameron Williams.
And I don't really think there's a reason to set up that pass with 20 seconds left on the game clock, no seconds left on the shot clock. You don't go into the post that early. You dribble it out to extract as many seconds as you can, and now Toledo's got another shot to extend their lead to double digits to end the half.
40-31. It's Wired bringing it up in transition. Pass to Lockett, jabs right, goes left. Downhill, throws it through the legs of her teammate, but somehow Wired right there to reel it in. Spinning back to her right hand, wide open layup for Wired, and it goes. The clock ticks to 0. Michigan heads to the locker room. KBA and the rest of the Michigan coaching staff immediately off the bench. Toledo leads by 11 going into the locker room.
And Sophia Wired has done everything for the Rockets tonight, and that last possession illustrates it completely. Toledo has a misfire on a pass out of the post, goes through the legs of the intended receiver, but Wired's there to pick it up, makes a beautiful move inside, and you told me before the game, Charlie, that she is a crafty point guard, makes a crafty move inside, hits a layup just before the game clock expires, and Toledo gets their double-digit lead before halftime.
I mentioned earlier, Sophia Wired on the year averaging just under 8.5 points and just under 4 rebounds. Well, she's already well over a season average in points at 13 and already has 3 rebounds as well, filling out the stat sheet. Toledo, as we mentioned before, just seemingly cannot miss here in Crisler Center. 51.7% from the floor, 45.5% from 3, 100%, a perfect 7 for 7 from the free throw line. Just everything, and I mean everything, is falling for the Rockets right now.
And those differentials all work to Michigan's disadvantage. Michigan hasn't been shooting free throws as well. Like you said, Toledo's hit them all. Toledo's been really good from three-point land. They've cooled off a bit, but Michigan is ice cold, and they have been for the whole game. And Michigan has shot a bit better from the field, but really that's only come on Emily Kaiser's shots. When you have 2 starters in Layla Felia and Cameron Williams being 2 for 9 and 1 for 6 from the field, that's not a recipe for success. And Maddie Nolan really has yet to get her stamp on this game. Only has taken 2 shots, only 1 3-pointer. That one was pretty short. So Michigan's just got to shore it up on all sides of the ball.
Michigan struggling with some of the woes that the Michigan men's team has had this year, where they just can't get shots to fall. If you're Michigan, one silver lining here is, it seems eventually Toledo has to miss. Again,
Michigan has to make shots.
They're shooting over 50% from the floor. They're a perfect 7 for 7 from the free throw line. Meanwhile, Michigan is shooting 35% and just 16% from beyond the three-point arc.
But you can't really bet on that. I think the problem in this game lies deeper than the shot making. It's not that Toledo's making these shots. I think Michigan is allowing them in a lot of cases to make these shots with poor defense. I think on the last possession inside, Wired was completely free to take that layup. Wouldn't you expect someone to be able to help off something to try and bother that shot, but didn't happen. Getting some tic-tac-toe action right here at center court.
I will say that might have been the worst game of tic-tac-toe I've ever seen.
These ones are always really funny. The one in Portland for the Trailblazers, have you seen the video of that? It's pretty good. The one, it's like 2 girls doing it. Like they both just don't know what they're doing. They don't. It looks like they've never played tic-tac-toe. At least somebody won this. I'm pretty sure nobody won. They just called it. It
Portland. Looked like there for a minute nobody was going to win it. Both of them, they each had like 2 or 3 opportunities to win, and they just kept putting it in the wrong spot.
I mean, I feel for people in this situation. You're like sprinting up and down the court trying to shoot a basketball, and then you got to play tic-tac-toe with like giant pieces.
I mean, the one guy had 2 ways he could win and still somehow put it in the wrong spot.
I don't know. Maybe they're not experienced in
they haven't been practicing. They haven't been watching their tic-tac-toe game film.
Yeah. They'll break it down, get those mistakes cleaned up. I'm sure camera operators are cutting that up right now.
They're going to get the full breakdown.
Yeah.
Going into the locker room. If you're just tuning in, we'd like to thank you for listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan women's basketball live here from Crisler Center. Story of the game so far, Toledo just can't miss. 42-31, the Rockets are ahead by 11. The storylines in this one, Michigan looking to keep a perfect 9-0 record, extend it to 10-0. As we're going to pause my analysis for a brief moment, is WCBN's own Zach Linfield is down there on the floor.
Classic. A brand new television. What did Zach do to deserve this?
Got to answer some trivia.
Oh, come on, Zach.
The trivia question up on the board: what was Michigan women's basketball's record at home last season? The options: 13-3, 14-2, 15-1, and 16-0.
I'll go 15-1. Oh, undefeated. He's got to make it from half court.
I'm not quite sure how this game is going. They're having answer trivia, and then
yeah, I think if he gets it wrong, he has to take. I don't even know.
I think the game is he has to answer trivia questions, and the number of ones he gets right,
he gets closer to the
basket. And if he makes a shot,
that's fun.
He wins a TV. So 3 spots, half court from the logo, and the top of the key for a 3.
He's from Curry range right now.
He's from Caitlin Clark range right now. The last trivia question to send Zach to the 3-point line. Those at home, feel free to play along. When was the last time the Michigan women's basketball team started a season 9-0? The answer is 2018 to 2019, 2019 to 2020, 2020 to 2021, or last year, 2021-2022. And Zach gives the correct answer for those playing at home. C, the 2020-2021 season.
He only gets 1 shot.
Come on, Zach. Do it for the WCBN
crew.
He
fumbled the dribble, though.
1 dribble, pull up from the top of the key, and he leaves it short.
Come on, Zach. Come on. Well, at least he gets to go to Arizona. That's pretty cool.
He does get to go to Arizona, as the PA announcer asked for some cheers for Zach, and about 4 people in the stands clapped. And I will say I was not one of them. That was a pitiful performance from Zach Linfield. Incredibly talented behind the mic. Needs to work on his jump shot.
Yeah, and I mean, I won't say I'll fare any better, but this is the second time I think I've seen Zach in a halftime contest. He was at Little Caesars Arena doing something, or he had like the bungee cord attached to him, and the other guy he was playing against, they had to shoot shots with this bungee cord pulling them. And the bungee cord, of course, is not long enough to stretch to each basket. It's like the free throw lines, so you got to tug your other guy so you can get close enough to shoot a layup. And Zach was dominating this guy physically.
That's
like
awesome.
He was sitting under the basket. This guy was drifting all the way out to the 3-point line. It was tough.
I will say Zach is, in terms of radio broadcasters, a bit of a physical specimen.
He's a big boy.
He's a big dude.
Big boy. I mean, I'm 6'2", and like there's not. It's not like 6'2's that tall, but there's not that many people that I'm not taller than. Zach's taller than me by a couple inches.
Yeah, Zach Linfield, for our WCBN roster, for those of you keeping track, sitting at about 6'4", I'd say about 220.
That's why if we ever took on Michigan State's radio program like the Daily does for the newspapers, I think we could line him up out wide, get somebody at quarterback. I played pretty well in my Turkey Bowl back home. I threw about 12 touchdowns.
There you go.
So I'd be comfortable throwing him a fade route. 220, that's, you know, it's a good size.
I'd say that's about right. But for those of you listening, again, we'd like to thank you for listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan women's basketball live here from Crisler Center. Filling airtime as both teams are in the halftime locker rooms discussing game plans for the second half. For Toledo, game plan just has to be keep shooting. They cannot miss right now. They are out in front 42-31 on the undefeated number 14th ranked Wolverines at home. And tell you what, a loss against an unranked Toledo team from a mid-major conference would not look good on the Wolverines' spotless record so far. But
this
the
is
way
not
it's
a
been
bad
playing
team.
Toledo, yes, I agree. Not a bad team at all. In fact, a very strong team. But the way it's looking, Toledo might make this one ugly.
Yeah, you're never hoping for a reverse cover situation. I don't know. I don't know what the line was. I think the total was 135, something like that for the over/under. I didn't see what the betting lines were. But if Toledo's leading by 11, I'd venture to say that that's getting close to a reverse cover. Being that, you know, if Michigan's favored by 11 or any favorite is favored by 11, the underdog wins by 11. That's a pretty tough scene.
It seems like anytime Michigan is, we mentioned it before, anytime Michigan has started to put together a little bit of a run, Toledo just completely squashes it. Toledo was up by 9 at one point. Michigan cut it to 4. Toledo brought the lead back up towards about double digits. Michigan cut it to 5, and then once Michigan cut us to 5, Toledo put their foot back on the gas and extended it up to 11. Again, 42-31 the score is. We're about 5 minutes away from the second half. So, William, before we swap over the crews for the second half to my good friend Vinayak sitting to my right-hand side, what do you think is the real key here for both teams? I want you to give one key for Michigan and one key for Toledo as we move into the second half of this ballgame.
Toledo needs to get more consistent offense, which they have been doing that, but in the second quarter they relied a little too much on jump shots for my liking, and they turned the ball over a little bit more than a team in their position would be comfortable with. But they need to keep getting it inside. I think Sophia Wired is good enough with dribble to manufacture that on her own, but some other players for them, like Kanisha Lockett, who has been pretty quiet for them in a game where they're up against a good team by 11, she'll need to get involved more. In Michigan, man, I got to pick one.
One.
Come on. They got to shoot the basketball better. It's kind of really it. I think that's the key. If they want to keep letting Toledo make their shots, Michigan's got to make shots too. Toledo right now on track for 84 points. Not looking great for Michigan to be able to match that right now, but we'll see. Emily Kaiser got active in the second quarter, but they need some three balls to fall, and they need better shot selection, I'd say. And I'm going to keep listing things if I keep going. They just need to play better.
For me, for Michigan, it's just slowing the pace down. This Toledo team is a team that loves, and I mean absolutely loves, to play fast. The average height on this team, well under 6 feet. And for Toledo, again, as we said, just keep shooting. Whereas for Michigan, it's, limit some of these spots where, you are just shooting very, very quickly, not using the shot clock to your advantage, not getting well-developed looks into Emily Kaiser down low. For Toledo, it's just keep running the floor. As I mentioned, the smaller, quicker team, and they have just been running, and I mean running up and down the floor. They've had multiple fast break opportunities, and they've got a good amount of points off turnovers in the full court just by jumping passing lanes, just being quick in the paint. But with that, I welcome my good friend Vinayak onto the broadcast. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. I mean, Michigan could be doing better, but there's always the second half. So excited to see the Wolverines hopefully make a comeback.
With 2 minutes to play until the second half, again, Toledo up by 11. 42-31 is the score. And Michigan now makes their way out of the halftime locker room. Give you the leaders for both sides. For Michigan, leading scorer by no surprise is Emily Kaiser. 9 points on 3 of 6 from the floor and 3 of 3 from the free throw line. She's had a pretty solid game so far. 9 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block, 1 steal. Filling out the stat sheet as usual. Right behind her, Cameron Williams with 5. Layla Feely and Leah Brown with 4 apiece. Then Greta Kampschrader with 3. And then Maddie Nolan, Jordan Hobbs, and Elise Stuck all have 2 points in their back pocket. On the side of Toledo, it's Wire, the point guard, leading the way with 11 points. Nan Garcia right behind her with 11. Lockett, the star player on this team, averaging 16.5 points per game, is sitting at half of that at 8, as well as 4 rebounds and 2 steals to her name. Team's getting some final shuts out before we head to the second half again. If you're just tuning in, we'd like to thank you for listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan women's basketball. And make sure to stay tuned both to our YouTube page and our Twitter, as we'll have all sorts of content coming as Michigan and WCBN, respectively, heads down to Arizona for the CFP, as Michigan will face off against the TCU Horned Frogs. Coming up on December 31st, Zach Linfield, who we just mentioned and just watched Airball 3, Kellen Flynn, Adam Bressler, and Neil Sinha will be the crew heading down to Arizona. And then after that, should Michigan make that far, WCBN will be heading out to Los Angeles. Stay tuned. We may be putting together a bit of a fundraiser, as the budget might be running a bit thin based on how successful the football team's been this year. We've been fortunate enough to travel all over the place, but of course, traveling does cost money. But as Pump It Up rings throughout Crisler Center, we are just about set to go. There's the horn. Both teams take the floor. It's the starting lineups for both sides. And it's going to be Toledo ball coming out of the break.
Here we go. If you're Michigan, you want to start off this half with energy and get back into the game.
Wired, who we just talked about a moment ago, to bring it up the floor. Pass over to Goss. And now swung all the way around. Wired in front of her own bench. Dribbles once with the left hand, now kicks back top of the key. Lockett guarded by Felia. Driving downhill with the right hand. Step back jumper from a long ways out. And it sits right on top of the basket and gets stuck.
You don't see that often.
Stuck between the backboard and the shot clock. We're going to have a brief stoppage of play as someone's going to have to try and knock it out with a floor mop. There's a brief pause, and there it is. Tell you what, not too often that you see someone get it that quickly. The fan down there in the Michigan hat getting that out very quickly. A lot taller than I expected that guy to be.
Worked out well, though.
Michigan's first possession of the half. It's going to be Williams with the ball at the elbow. Skip pass for Nolan. Showed her shot. Now down to the low post for Leah Brown. Dribbles it out. Gets a ball screen from Kaiser. Tried to step through to the left. Now pass inside for Emily Kaiser. Floater with the right hand. Leaves it short. It's going to be Bekanowitz pulling it down. Wired brings it up the right-hand side. Guarded by Felia. Step back. Showed her shot for a second. Decides to kick it out. Lockett barely staying in bounds. Pass inside for Cook. Dribbling all the way around the lane. Left-handed floater won't go. Felia rebound. Not something you see very often. Jessica Cook putting it on the floor like that. Leah Brown, one dribble to the left, pull-up jumper, leaves it off the front of the rim. Fantastic box out by Sammy Bekanowitz. That's something you're going to go back and watch on film. That is about as picture perfect as you can get. Cook passes to Wired, tries to set a ball screen. Michigan doubles. Skip pass all the way across to Bekanowitz. Driving downhill, blows by Kaiser, up easy with the left hand. And Kaiser looking around in frustration. There was no help defense.
It's the open lane there. Great finish, too.
Skip pass to Kaiser. Guarded by Bekanowitz. Dribbles with the left hand. Now passes out for Leah Brown. Brown probing, trying to find a gap. Finds a wide open Kaiser cutting the basket, and that's 2. Emily Kaiser now into double digits. The lead cut back to 11, 44-33, Rockets out in front. Miscommunication there between Goss and Lockett. They turn it over for free, and it's going to be a substitution on the dead ball. Kyra Evans checking in for Cameron Williams.
If you're Michigan, you just want to continue attacking the paint with Kaiser. That's where they've gotten the most success. So hopefully they look forward to her.
Again, a great matchup. It's McConowitz on Kaiser, number 33 on number 33. And there's another quick whistle. McConowitz called for her second foul. Both of those fouls have been on Kaiser, and both of them without the ball in Kaiser's hands. She's just been fouling her as they struggle for positioning.
I mean, this game has just been so much more physical than we expected. I mean, Kaiser, lots of fouls. It's a very physical game so far.
Correction on my end, that one on McConowitz, her third. So Brewer's going to check in, and there's another whistle. This one's going to be on Brewer as Kaiser hits the deck. And the boos ring from the Toledo section.
They travel well, don't they? Though
They really do.
It's only a 40-minute drive, but
7:46 to play in the quarter, and Garcia now checks in for Cook. She will guard Kyra Evans. That's 2 fouls in about 3 seconds of game time, both of them coming on people fouling Emily Kaiser. Leah Brown stepping through contact. Loose ball. Felia pulls it down. Lob pass inside for Kaiser, has it stolen right out of her hands. Felia threw it right into the hands of Lockett. Lockett, a little shake and bake, driving baseline, and she puts it off her own leg out of bounds. Michigan forcing another turnover. That's 12 on the day for Toledo.
Michigan has been pretty solid defensively so far. It's really just about getting points on the offensive end. Toledo's kind of letting them get back into the game. They just have to score some more points.
Leah Brown lost her dribble, barely getting it over before a 10-second violation. Kyra Evans with the ball in front of her own bench. One dribble, pass to Leah Brown in the short post. Loose ball, Brown pulls it down, and there's a foul call. It's going to be Wired, called for a trip as Leah Brown tried to step over her. And now that is already 3 fouls in the quarter for Toledo with 7 minutes and 11 seconds to play.
If you're Michigan, you want to keep attacking Toledo, keep drawing the fouls, get into the bonus, and then you can really just start getting free points.
It'll be Brown to inbound. Emily Kaiser standing right in front of her, guarded closely by Brewer. Pass gets into Kaiser, trying to fight through contact. Up with the right hand off the front of the rim. Kaiser pulls down her own rebound. Puts it back up again. It won't go. Brewer tried to grab it off her fingertips. It stays Michigan ball.
And Michigan just taking advantage of their size over Toledo. I mean, Brown got multiple rebounds there, and I don't think Toledo really has an answer for her right now.
Brown inside to Evans. Fights through traffic. Up and under. An athletic finish from Kyra Evans. And those are her first 2 points of the ball game. That's that international ball as the Australian flag flies from the Maze Rage. Wired with the ball in front of her own bench. The lead has been cut to 9. Inside, Lockett puts up a shot, but a great wall up by Kyra Evans. Offense turns to defense. Nolan, pass up in transition to the corner to Felia. Driving downhill with the right hand. Spinning back, lob pass up top for Brown inside. Evans fighting through contact as it's stripped out of her hands. Ball loose on the floor, and Wired draws a foul. This one on Evans. Nothing she could do there. Wired was just stumbling in front of her and just wrong place at the wrong time for Kyra Evans. She picks up her second personal.
That was just great defense there by Toledo. Way to get physical down in the paint. Michigan just wants to score from there, and they took it away from her, so props to them for great defense there.
44-35, 6 minutes to play in the third quarter. Brewer outside, passes to Lockett, now gets it right back. Garcia all the way around to Horn to Wired. Up top, Lockett, guarded by Felia. Michigan, again, hedging the ball screen, pushing Toledo way out. Lob pass inside. That one intended for Garcia, and Maddie Nolan sprinting across the floor, putting her body on the line to tip that pass out of bounds. It's going to be Toledo ball underneath. They've got 7 seconds on the shot clock. Wired to inbound. We're going to have a quick stoppage of play to wipe up some sweat.
So they're going to bring the mop out.
And Leah Brown's going to do it herself. She knows exactly where it is. And now we'll hand it over to our man who got the ball off the top of the rim.
Quite an active night for him.
Getting probably some more screen time than he probably thought he would get. Wired to inbound. Gets it off to Garcia. Garcia trying to spin back baseline. Lob pass up top. Wire's going to have to get a shot off here. Kick to Garcia right at the buzzer. Her 3-ball too long. Leah Brown pulls down the rebound. Scanning the floor in transition. Can't find anything. Slows it up. Evans, bounce pass inside for Kaiser and another whistle. This one on Garcia down low. That's another foul from Toledo on Emily Kaiser before she even has the ball. Count them, that is 3 this quarter.
I mean, Toledo really has no response. At Michigan, they have amped up the intensity on the defensive end for sure.
Brown to inbound, pass in for Nolan. She kicks inside for Kaiser, tried to put it on the ground, lost it. Running in transition is Lockett up with the left hand, and it's good. The lead back up to 11, 46-35.
You can't have those turnovers.
Filia with the left hand, kicks out for Kyra Evans. Now gives it right back to Filia. Cam Schrader heads to the check-in table. Filia calling for a ball screen, right to left cross, picks up her dribble. Has nowhere to go with it. Gets it off to Kaiser. 8 seconds left in the shot clock. Kyra Evans in the mid-post now. Dribbles with the left hand, has it poked away, loose ball, and it's a jump ball call, and it'll stay Michigan basketball.
Michigan kind of lucking out there with that jump ball to, kind of reset, but because that possession was going nowhere for them. So they get to get in the timeout, discuss a play, and go from there.
We head to the media timeout. Toledo still way out in front. 46-35. Michigan's shooting woes continue. Just 14 of 43 from the floor for a 32.6% free throw, or 42.6% shooting percentage.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like Toledo's been playing great. They've been fouling, turnovers, and Michigan has amped up the intensity on the defensive end. They're not really giving any easy baskets to Toledo, but the offensive woes really are coming back to bite Michigan. I mean, they're still in this game only down 11 points, but man, if they were just shooting just a little bit better, they could be tied in this game, even taking the lead. It really doesn't feel like Toledo has played a great game. They've been making mistakes too. So if you're Michigan, you kind of want to just calm down and get the offense going. It feels like players like Layla Filia, we haven't really seen much of her. You want to get your big playmakers to start going and start scoring the basketball. So I wonder to see what Kim Barnes is discussing in the timeout. Maybe to get some more energy in the offensive end for sure.
You mentioned fouls and turnovers. Toledo, 14 personal fouls in the game, 13 turnovers. On the side of Michigan, only 9 fouls and 8 turnovers.
You would think Michigan's winning based on those statistics.
You look at all the stats besides shooting percentage, really. Michigan is barely behind in the rebounding battle. They have the same number of assists, less fouls, less turnovers, more steals, and yet they're down by 11.
It doesn't make sense. I mean, props to Toledo, though, for just staying physical. I think just early on, Toledo just kind of made their mark on the game. They made their mark on the game. They didn't make it easy for Michigan. And just overall, they've done a great job of responding as well. Every time Michigan has cut it to 5 or 7, Toledo always seems to have a response. We just saw right there the basket by Lockett off the fast break, bringing the lead back to double digits. I mean, Toledo's just done a great job responding to Michigan's short-lived runs for now.
So the media timeout wrapping up. It's going to be Michigan ball after the jump ball. They'll inbound underneath the basket opposite their bench.
3.3 seconds left for Michigan, so you wonder what is the play. Perhaps they're going to try to get a three-point look, or maybe someone's going to cut to the basket. It'll be interesting to see how they use these 3 seconds for sure.
Camp Schrader has entered the ball game for Leah Brown. So it's Camp Schrader, Evans, Kaiser, Nolan, and Filia. Camp Schrader trying to get it inbounds, gets it into Filia. Pull-up jumper from the short corner off the front of the rim. Ball bouncing all around, and Filia somehow manages to pull it down. Euro step to the middle of the lane, rolls off the front of the rim and in.
You'd love to see that. You'd love to see Filia getting some scoring action. Hopefully the Wolverines are going to need her if they want to come back in this game.
We mentioned Michigan's shooting woes. That one that drops is now, they are now one of their last 7.
It's a tough night for shooting for sure.
Wired standing on the logo. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Being guarded by Camp Schrader. trying to dribble it out, going downhill now. Great stunt by Evans. Kick, loose ball. It's going to be out of bounds. It's going to stay Toledo ball. They've got 1.9 seconds on the clock. Great job again by Maddie Nolan, tracking that ball down like a cornerback and slapping it out of bounds. Wired trying to get it in. Pass for Garcia, and it goes out of bounds. It's going to be Michigan basketball going the other way.
You can just see the Wolverines are just so much more engaged on defense. The deflection by Maddie Nolan. I mean, I feel like they figured out Toledo. They just got to score. Keep it coming.
46-37, the Rockets out in front. Michigan has 14 minutes total to cut this lead down and take the lead back. Bounce pass inside. A wide open Felia up with the left hand. Missed it. Gets her own rebound, and she's fouled going back up.
It's good that they're going to Felia. I mean, she's their leading scorer. The sophomore, they're going to need her if they want to come back. So just get some plays for her, and for her to go to the free throw line and maybe warm up a little bit, get hot. I mean, the Wolverines will take what they can get.
So Felia will shoot 2. The lead is 9 for Toledo. First free throw from Feely, and nothing but net. Make it an 8-point lead now, 46-38. Toledo, 4 turnovers in the last 4.5 minutes.
Just remarkable defense by the Wolverines. I mean, they are truly giving themselves an opportunity to stay in this game, and they're going to keep it up. They're going to have to keep it up for sure.
Felia knocks down the pair. The lead, shortest it's been in a while. Ball poked out of bounds by Emily Kaiser. It'll be Lockett to inbound from right in front of the scorer's table. 23 seconds left in the shot clock. Wired working up top, guarded by Camp Schrader. Camp Schrader forcing her hard left. Pass to the high post for Garcia, guarded closely by Evans. Ball screen comes and make it 5 turnovers in the last 4.5 minutes as Toledo throws that ball clean out of bounds. Nobody was even near that one.
Here we are, the Wolverines with a chance to cut this lead to 5 or even 4, something they haven't really done at all. Toledo's just responded every time.
Nice pass from Camp Schrader, breaks the press. Kaiser brings it up in transition with the dribble, and now we'll set it back. Kaiser steps back. Garcia giving her plenty of room on the outside. Camp Schrader comes off a screen, puts up a 3, and it goes!
That's a big-time shot for the Wolverines right there.
The sophomore, Greta Camp Schrader, cuts the lead to 4, 46-42, and Crisler Center's the loudest it's been all day. Wired in front of her own bench, coming off a screen, and there's a foul call. This one on Evans. That's going to be her 3rd personal.
And now this is kind of a pivotal stretch for Toledo. So far, they've managed to respond back to any of Michigan's runs. Let's see if they can respond here and, make their lead larger.
Correction, that is the 4th personal on Evans. That one a tough break for her. It was Wired who fell before she got to Evans as Wired airballs a 3-pointer. And all of a sudden, Garcia strips it out of the hands of Camp Schrader, putting up a 3 after the steal, and it goes.
Talk about big-time play by Garcia right there.
Garcia ran out of bounds to save it. Michigan pulled it down, and then nobody saw Garcia sprinting back in bounds, and she tipped it right out of the hands of Camp Schrader. Skip pass to the corner. Maddie Nolan puts up a 3. That one off the front of the rim, tipped out of bounds. Garcia, it's going to be Michigan ball underneath.
Yeah, just a tough break for the Wolverines. But if there is a silver lining, they have been able to get a lot of offensive rebounds this half. I mean, the Wolverines have had tons of second chance opportunities. They're going to get one right here.
49-42, the lead back up to 7 for Toledo. Pass in to Felia, driving downhill, right-handed layup. She leaves it short. It's going to be a rebound, McConowitz. Rockets in transition. Hesitation move. Wire driving, puts up a layup. No good, but she's fouled. Sophia Wired has done a fantastic job today of selling these calls. There's been minimal contact on quite a few of them. That one pretty clear, but she sold it well.
I mean, yeah, just great plays by her. And also, she's really been a key contributor for Toledo. She hit a couple threes. She hit a lot of big threes in the first half, and I think Toledo needs contributions from everyone. So, I mean, just a great performance by the Rockets tonight.
Wired knocks the first one down to extend the lead to 8. It is go time here for Michigan. 2 minutes and 17 seconds left in the quarter. Toledo with a chance to extend their lead to 9. And Wired does so, knocking down another free throw. Make that a perfect 9 for 9 from the free throw line for Toledo today. (51-42). Long pass from half court up into the wing in front of Michigan's bench to Elise Stuck. Ophelia cutting. Shows her shot, top of the key. Dribbles once with the left hand. Now kicks to Camp Schrader. She drives downhill. Wired right there. Kick back pass. Ophelia drives back to the same spot. Short pull-up jumper. Sits on the rim for a minute and then drops.
It's good to see Ophelia getting into her scoring groove right now. The Wolverines are going to need all they can get.
51-44. Minute 40 to play in the corner. Lockett passes over to Justina King. King guarded by Camp Schrader. Now up, and there's a foul called. A charge drawn by Emily Kaiser. That one a hard foul, and Kaiser slow to get up.
Yeah, that looked like she may have got an elbow there.
And Coach Rico immediately going over to the referee to say that Garcia put her elbow into Kaiser's head.
Refs may want to review this.
This one could be upgraded, and looks like they're going to go to the table to look at it. We'll see if we get the replay up here. That one, if nothing else, was a hard foul from Garcia. I mean, she just straight up ran Kaiser over. Kaiser's done a great job all year putting her body on the line to take charges and selling them at some points, but, I mean, there was no doubt about that one. Garcia was on the 1 yard line trying to win the Super Bowl right there. Just ran right through Emily Kaiser.
Yeah, this is a tough play, but, I mean, for Michigan, it sucks. You were just down by 4. You were going to make a run, and then Toledo responds back with a big three-pointer by Garcia. And Toledo again with the response. I mean, every time the Wolverines have made it close, Toledo just comes with the response. And if you're Wolverines, you got Ophelia scoring again, now making it 44-51. But I'm not sure. I don't know what the key is for the Wolverines. They've been playing really solid defense. It's just on offense. They need to get better shots overall. Ophelia's been getting her shots, but there's not been much. One thing I've noticed, there's not been much, not many shots outside from the three-point line for sure. Most of their shots are coming in from the paint, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but Toledo's kind of figured out that's what the Wolverines want to do. And if Michigan wants to win this game, I think they're going to have to expand their range and get a little bit more looks from the three-point line. Wolverines really just have not shot as much from there.
Well, it might be partially due to the fact that they're not shooting it well from beyond the arc. Just 2 of 8 for 25%. So 11 minutes and 32 seconds total left to play in this ball game. 1:32 left in the quarter. If you're just tuning in, Toledo up by 7, 51-44. They've been in front for pretty much this entire ball game.
Yep. Now this foul does get upgraded, though. That's a big-time break for the Wolverines. They'll get not only free throws, but also they're going to get the ball and more opportunities to kind of cut into Toledo's deficit before the end of the third quarter, and then you can make a run in the fourth. I mean, the Wolverines have been within striking distance this whole game. It's just all about putting it together on the offensive end, getting a few possessions. They've done their job on the defensive end. I mean, Toledo's really not getting many baskets at all, albeit some bad luck for the Wolverines, but you just got to put together on the offensive end, and the comeback's there. I definitely feel like it's still possible.
You look at the about 28 and a half minutes of game played, Toledo has led for 25 and a half of those.
Wow.
They have absolutely dominated this game.
Yeah, Toledo came out from the stretch and then really haven't looked back. They've played an incredible game. I mean, you had to play this coming into a team that's 9-0. You had to play the game of your lives, and they've done it so far.
After the review, it's going to stay a common foul, but notably Kaiser heads to the bench. Camp Schrader up top, passes over to Leah Brown, rejects the ball screen, going downhill with the left, kickback pass. Camp Schrader showed her shot. Now looks to the top of the key, stuck. Lob pass inside for Cameron Williams. Up with the right hand, and it'll go. A foul call. Correction, Leah Brown was on the floor and sat there for a second. And the referee blows the whistle. They're going to wipe up some more sweat.
Slippery floor tonight for sure.
Five-point lead for the Rockets. Driving downhill is Lockett. Fighting through contact. Toledo tips it back out. No foul called. Cameron Williams with a nice block there. 15 seconds left on the shot clock, 50 left on the game clock in this half. Garcia up top, hands off to Wired. Brown fighting through a screen. Cameron Williams hedges it hard, and now a foul call. The Michigan coaching staff in disbelief on that one. Toledo has gotten that call all day. These are good hedges. You look back at the one from Kyra Evans, that one from Cameron Williams.
Yeah.
And these Toledo players are just throwing their heads up, selling it really well.
Right in front of the ref, too.
Wired downhill into quadruple coverage and throws it right into the hands of Elise Stuck, who is now double covered in the full court. Timeout call.
Smart play there.
Michigan escapes the pressure.
And it would have been a bad look, too, because Toledo has the possession area. So if we had a jump ball, Toledo would get the ball. So smart play there by the Wolverines to get the timeout and rediscuss. Leads 5. I mean, all things being said, for as good as Toledo's played, they only trail by 5, and the Wolverines have a chance to cut this lead even more. So, yeah, I don't know. I think they really have a shot to put it together on the offensive end for sure. And yeah.
Yeah, Michigan definitely has not shot the ball well. Again, just continues to be the story of the game. You looked down the line at Michigan's, top producers on the season. Layla Felia is 4 of 14 from the floor right now. Leah Brown's 2 of 10. Kaiser's 4 of 10. Williams is 2 of 7. Really, the only one who's having a good day from the field is Greta Kampschrader, who's 2 of 3.
The Wolverines are 12. It says 12 of 23 on layups. That is something you cannot have if you're trying to win these games for sure.
Justina King trying to pick up in the full court. Toledo's matched up in man defense. 30 seconds left in the quarter, 20 on the shot clock, so Toledo will get another possession. Brown on the wing. Kaiser is back in the game. Kick out pass. Maddie Nolan, a deep 3 off the front of the rim. Lockett with the rebound and running in transition. Kick to the corner. Jensen, one dribble, pull up, and it goes.
We sold them with the pump fake there. Got a wide open shot.
Brown, bring it up in transition. 3 seconds. Pulls from the logo, way off left. The horn sounds, and we enter the fourth quarter. It's a 7-point lead for the Toledo Rockets, 53-46.
Who would have really expected this before the game started? Toledo's really come in. We got to give credit where it's credit's due. Despite the Wolverines' shooting woes, I mean, Toledo has really responded every single drive the Wolverines make. I mean, players are hitting shots. Garcia's hit threes, and yeah, I mean, I've been very impressed with the Rockets tonight on both sides of the floor. And like you said, they've done an incredible job of selling their fouls. They've been doing a great job of getting calls on their offensive end, and the refs are calling it for sure. Despite all their foul trouble on the defensive end, on the offensive end, Toledo's really getting a lot of calls for sure.
We're just tuning in. The Rockets ahead by 7, 53-46 as we enter the fourth and final quarter. Sophia Wired has been the star player for this Toledo team so far. 15 points, 4 rebounds, and a steal to her name. As the t-shirt toss goes around the stadium. Again, we'd like to thank you all for tuning in and remind you all that Michigan is headed down to Arizona, and WCBN will be right there along with them for the college football playoff game. Michigan faces off against TCU, and then should Michigan advance to the championship game, WCBN will be making the trip to Los Angeles as well.
Exciting things coming up for the Wolverines for sure.
So the story of the game for Toledo, I mean, I sound like a broken record, but they cannot miss. Shooting almost 50% from the floor, over 40% from 3, 100% from the line. Michigan's just been waiting all day for Toledo to stop making shots, and that point just hasn't came yet.
Yep. And you would think it would just be Lockett being the main scorer for Toledo. I mean, she's their leading scorer. She's averaging 16.5 points a game, but it's been all of the players, almost all of every single Toledo player out on the floor has contributed in some way or form. And Yeah, it's a team game. They're playing the game of their lives right now. They're shooting incredibly well, yet they're only up 7. Wolverines are really fortunate given the circumstances to be only trailing by 7, but here we go. We head to the 4th quarter, and if you're going to make a comeback, the time is now.
McConowitz has re-entered the game for Toledo. She's got 3 fouls. Pass inside for Cook, trying to spin, and she's called for a foul. It's Emily Kaiser, and Kim Barnes-Arico upset with that one. Cook was just falling down and fell into Kaiser.
These refs seem to be blowing their whistle quite a bit tonight. You know, any sort of contact seems to be resulting in a foul.
Almost 30 fouls called between the two teams. Toledo to inbound from underneath. Lockett right to left cross off the inbounds pass. Puts it off the backboard but gets her own rebound. Bounce pass, Cook in the short corner. Shows her shot a few times and now throws it right into the hands of Layla Felia. She tips it away. Kaiser reels it in.
Yeah, that cut wasn't there by Lockett, and great defense by the Wolverines there.
Pass up top, Leah Brown directing traffic. Passes to Kaiser on the wing. Cook showing one hand out in front. Kaiser, pass inside for Stuck. Kicks right back out. Leah Brown for 3. Spins all the way around the rim and off the hands of Kaiser on the rebound. The 3 ball didn't go, and Toledo gets a lucky break.
You can see the look on her face. She had her hands above her head. I mean, just a tough break right there. In and out. Wolverines really could have used that one.
Brown now 2 of 11 from the floor. Lockett, hesitation, kick out. McConowitz steps into a 3. That one goes. 7 3-pointers on the day for Toledo.
It's a 6-point swing right there for the Wolverines. Tough break.
And the lead back to double digits. Leah Brown driving downhill. Hit hard, but no foul call. Kick out for Felia. Tried to sell it. Toledo's got that call all day. Michigan not so lucky. Driving downhill is Brown here, and now the whistle goes. This one's going to be on Lockett.
The Wolverines have just caught some tough breaks so far. I mean, there was a play just now, you know, the 3-pointer goes in and out, then Toledo responds to the 3, and then you have to go back to the 3rd quarter when Garcia stole the ball, and then she comes back and hits a 3. Just tough luck for the Wolverines, but again, opportunity, go back to the line. You get this deficit, hopefully to 8, and then keep it going, keep the comeback, and you still have plenty of time in this game.
Evans checks in for Stuck. Leah Brown knocks down the first free throw, a 77% free throw shooter on the year coming into this one. Brown doubles the pair. So the lead is cut to 8, 56-48. 8.5 minutes left to play in the ball game. McConowitz outside, guarded by Kaiser, swung around the horn. Wired up top to Lockett. Cook rolls to the basket. Wired, one more. McConowitz to the high post. Goss finds a wide open Cook. Nice pass over the head of Kyra Evans. Lead back to 10. Felia, left to right cross, lost her dribble, but gets it back. Pass up top for Nolan. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Kaiser and Cook fighting for position down low. One dribble with the right hand, up with the left, and one! Drop the bucket for Emily Kaiser, and she'll go to the line and look to convert her second and one of the game. Cook heads to the bench after the foul.
That's a big-time finish there by Emily Kaiser to get the Wolverines now hopefully within 7. I mean, you just got to keep the defensive intensity up, and you know, Emily Kaiser's really playing, is the only player I think that's like really has played a great game, so you got to keep feeding her the ball as well.
Kaiser making her case as one of the better players in the country this year as Greta Camp-Schrader checks in for Leah Brown. And it's situations like these where you separate yourself from the pack. Big-time players make big-time plays in big-time scenarios. And as Kaiser puts that one off the front of the rim, that one just her 5th free throw miss in over 50 attempts this year.
Just the unlucky breaks for the Wolverines, back to back to back.
Kaiser now 52 of 56, I believe, from the free throw line this year. Evans hedges a ball screen. Pass up. Lockett might have gotten away with a travel there. trying to get inside. Pass to Garcia, shows her shot in the short corner. Shot clock down to 2. Makonowitz, a turnaround jumper, tipped out of the hands of Emily Kaiser, but Felia right there to reel it in.
I like that zone defense there by the Wolverines. Worked out really well for them.
Felia driving downhill, now kicks back to Camp Schrader. Inside to Kaiser. Fighting through contact, foul called, and Kaiser will go to the line and most likely shoot 2. We'll see where they call this foul. Again, that one on Makonowitz. That one her 4th personal. All 4 of those fouls have been on Emily Kaiser.
Kaiser's just been having her way physically. I mean, she's been able to get to the line to finish. I mean, this is truly like a great game for her, and again a chance to bring the Wolverines hopefully to. I don't want to jinx her. I'm not going to jinx her, but hopefully within 6 for sure.
Kaiser now 53 of 58 on the season, make it 54 of 59 on the season from the free throw line. 58-51 is the score. 7:05 to play in the ball game, and Kaiser cuts it down even more. 58-52. Toledo still out in front. Toledo has led for 30 minutes of this ball game.
It's controlling the game.
Lockett working with the pill up top,
Off the bank.
and puts that one square off the backboard, but somehow it finds the bottom. Again, the story of the game for Toledo.
This has been that kind of night for them.
Kaiser on the wing. Brewer guarding her closely. Into Cam Schrader at the elbow. One dribble, kick out for Felia. Kaiser now fighting for position. Kyra Evans sort of in her way. Pass up top. Camp Schrader looking inside. Now gets it into Kyra Evans. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Fighting through traffic up with the right hand, and there's 2 for Evans.
Big time finish there by Evans. With the shot clock running out too, so just a great possession for the Wolverines right there.
60-54. 6 minutes to play in the game. Wired up top, driving with the left hand on Camp Schrader. Pull-up jumper off the front of the rim. Kaiser rebound. Camp Schrader looking up in transition, finds a cutting Layla Felia. Fouled and 1!
Big time basket right there by Layla Felia. And 1. Crisler Center getting loud. A chance to make this a 1-possession game for Layla Felia.
Michigan, 3 of their last 3 from the floor. Felia, 2 for 4 from the charity stripe today. Looking to convert the and 1. Knocks it down. The score now 60-57. The lead, the smallest for Toledo as it's been in quite some time.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think we have a game now. I think we have a game. The Wolverines have got within striking distance, a 1-possession game.
And now the crowd is on their feet. Again, loudest it's been today, and Goss cuts to the basket, and an easy left-handed layup silences the crowd.
You can't do that.
Goss after the layup, trying to pick up in the full court. Cam Schrader to bring it up with the dribble. Picks up her dribble up near the logo. Bounce pass into Kaiser. You hear the defense chants. The Toledo fans showing some enthusiasm. Felia cut in the basket. Nice pass from Kaiser. Right-handed shot won't go. A whistle. And there's a foul. It's going to be a hold call. Looks like it was off the wall. But that is the 5th foul, so it'll be Felia to go to the line and shoot 2. (62-57). 5:22 to play in the game. Felia's free throw drops down, make it 62-58.
Felia's their leading scorer. I mean, she's had a pretty solid game, 14 points, and they're going to need her down the stretch for sure.
Knocks down the 3rd, and now we're back to a 1-possession game. 62-59. Toledo still out in front.
Gotta bring the intensity on the defensive end. Guard your man, and let's go.
Almost 32 minutes of this ball game have been played with Toledo leading. Up top for Garcia. Swung over to Brewer, now to Jansen. Jansen up to Garcia. Or correction, Wired. Wired up near half court. Tries to pass over towards Jansen. Felia tips it away. Pushing in transition with the left hand. Kickback pass, top of the key. Over to the corner. Maddie Nolan Shoulder shot now inside for Kaiser. Here's the look you want if you're Michigan. One jab, dribbling to the middle. All sorts of contact. It's tipped away. That one's going to go down as a steal for Garcia. Kaiser frustrated. Toledo and Michigan fans alike on their feet here in Crisler Center. 62-59, 4.5 minutes to play. Jansen up top, guarded by Nolan. Driving downhill, and there's a quick whistle. This one going to be on Maddie Nolan, her first personal, team second.
Luckily this half, though, the Wolverines haven't really fouled. You know, so Toledo won't get the chance to go play in the bonus. They're going to have to take it out of bounds. So overall, I mean, it's been a great fourth quarter, I'd say, for the Wolverines. They just have to keep finishing. You're at the home stretch of the game, only 4 minutes, 18 seconds left. I mean, this is your time to shine. You don't want to get your head down too low. I mean, you missed a couple shots that maybe you missed. There was a foul call over there that wasn't called, but you're still in this. It's a 3-point game, and we've got a game. I mean, the Wolverines have come back. They've kind of done it. Toledo really not getting much. I mean, outside of just mistakes on the Wolverines' end as far as defense. So it's going to be an exciting finish for sure.
McConowitz headed to the check-in table just now, so she will be back in the ball game with 4 fouls. And you got to kind of question things. You got to kind of question that decision. All 4 of her fouls have come on Emily Kaiser. Only one of them has came when Kaiser's had the ball.
Exactly.
She's just struggled to fight for position down low. Meanwhile, you look at Cook, you look at Garcia. Those are 2 names that jump off the page for me that are better matchups for Toledo on Emily Kaiser right now, especially in a close ball game like this. Toledo led by as much as 11. That lead's been cut down to 3.
Yep. And if you're Michigan on offense, what are you going to do? You're just going to attack. You're going to attack with Kaiser and hopefully have her foul out. I mean, Toledo's kind of putting themselves in a sticky situation with there, but yeah, I mean that's just the game management. I think if you're Michigan though, settle down, play good defense. If you get the fast break, we saw that finish by Layla Feeler for the and one. The Wolverines really haven't had many fast break opportunities, so if you can push it out there, but if not, you just want to be in control. Each possession kind of matters at this point, so play great defense, and then let's convert on the offensive end.
Three minutes of this ball game has been played when Toledo wasn't in front.
Yeah. Props to the Rockets. They've been playing with the lead all game. It would be heartbreaking for them to lose the lead in these final minutes, but Michigan is coming. They're coming for that lead. They're coming to make the comeback, so we'll see. Buckle up, fam. Buckle up, everyone.
We definitely have a ball game on our hands. 62-59, the score in Crisler Center. Toledo inbounds from in front of their own bench. Jansen bringing the ball up near the logo, pass to Garcia in the high post. Kick outside, showing her shot and doing a 1-dribble pull-up is King. Shot won't go. Kyra Evans pulls down the rebound. Camp Schrader dribbles off her own foot. That's a turnover and a potential scoring opportunity for Toledo. Up with the left hand. Goss, it goes.
And that's a mistake you cannot make if you want to come back in this game.
64-59, the lead back up to 5. No longer a 1-possession game for Michigan. Lob pass inside. Kaiser, and she's fouled. So the foul goes on Garcia. That one's her 3rd. And Michigan is in the bonus, so Kaiser will go to the line and shoot 2.
For the Wolverines, they've just been playing the foul game for the most part. They've just been able to get to the line quite a bit this second half, and it's where a lot of their points have come from.
Wired and Lockett both check back in. 2 players on the court right now for the Rockets have 4 fouls as Kaiser puts a free throw off the front of the rim. Lockett and McConowitz both have 4 fouls. Kaiser misses a pair. Very rare misses from Emily Kaiser. 3:30 left to play in the ball game. 5-point lead for the Rockets. Driving downhill is Lockett, and she double dribbled.
The stops are there for the Wolverines. It's really just mistakes on their end. So you have to clean up. You can't shoot yourself in the foot anymore. And You have to play pretty close to perfect for these last 3.5 minutes.
Leah Brown checks in for Greta Kampschrader. Again, it's Goss picking up in the full court. Some contacts in the open floor. Referee's letting them play. Lob pass inside for Kaiser. Kicks to the corner. Layla Filia catch and shoot three. Every part of the rim off the backboard, and it drops.
About a big time shot there by Layla Filia. Here we go, 2-point game again.
Filia's got 18. Garcia with the ball on the perimeter, guarded by Evans. Over to Wired, now up top for Lockett. Wired, McConowitz. High post for Goss, dribbles it out. 6 seconds left in the shot clock. Up top, Goss, Wired catching it at the logo. 2 seconds, steps through, puts up a wild air ball, and it's left way short.
A lot of contact there, but the Wolverines don't get the foul call, and that's not very common for the Wolverines, so here we go.
Good no call there. Wired just completely out of control.
Yep.
Tried to hop step with about 2 seconds left in the shot clock. Nolan passes over to Brown, now inside for Kaiser. Skip pass to a cutting Kyra Evans. Up with the left hand, tie ball game. 64-64 with 2:20 to play.
Here we go. This is something that we haven't seen all game.
Lockett in front of her own bench. Driving with the right hand downhill. Kick to Wired. Shoulder shot. Now she drives to the paint. Foul called. This one on Leah Brown. It's going to be called on the floor. Toledo not in the bonus, so they'll inbound from the side. That one Brown's third. They're going to give the ball to Toledo underneath the basket. Tied ball game, 2:05 to play in this ball. Wired gets it to McConowitz. Swung up top for Goss. Inside to a cutting Garcia. Bounce pass out. McConowitz driving downhill. Nice stop there by Evans. Spinning all the way around. McConowitz is blocked off her shoulder, and they're going to say it. They're going to call it Toledo ball, and the referee immediately looking to the table, and now the referees discuss. Michigan basketball, no review needed.
That ball clearly went off her head. Right there, clearly went off her head. I mean, yeah, that seems like an obvious call.
So after even more discussion, they're going to review this one, but we just saw the replay. Everyone in Crisler Center saw the replay. That one was pretty clear.
Yep, I mean, and for the Wolverines, it seems like they're finally getting their way, I would say, on the defensive end in terms of the fouls called. I mean, these refs have been calling a lot of fouls for the Toledo on a lot of plays where are questionable, but it seems like right now they're letting them kind of play through contact. I mean, that play just now, I mean, it was they could have called it a foul, but it came off her head. So Michigan basketball and an opportunity to take back the lead, and like we've said, Charlie, you know, they haven't had the lead in this game for more than like 3 minutes. So big time basketball coming up.
Under 2 minutes to play. Tied ball game, 64-64. Leah Brown passes to a wide open cutting Layla Filia.
Great cut right there.
Up with the left hand. 2 points for Michigan, and they've got the lead. Filia just using her speed to blow by Lockett there. Wired comes off a ball screen, gets around Evans, but is stopped by Leah Brown. Speaking of wide open, down low, fouled, and one. It's Goss. That one goes on Kyra Evans. That's her fifth. She's fouled out.
It's funny you say speaking of wide open. I mean, both plays, the defense kind of falls asleep for both teams. And, yep, Toledo responds right back to Wolverines' short-lived lead.
And now Coach Kim Barnes-Arico has to walk up and down the bench and try to find a replacement for Kyra Evans. And looks like it's going to be Jordan Hobbs. So Michigan with a smaller lineup here. The other posts in the lineup for Michigan, Cameron Williams and Lee Stuck, have been unreliable so far in this ball game. So Coach Arico electing to go to the smaller lineup. Tie ball game, 66-66, 1:23 to play. Goss, a good shooter from the outside, just as good from the free throw line. She puts Toledo back out in front. Next foul for either team will result in free throws. Michigan 1 foul away from putting Toledo in the bonus. Toledo's already had Michigan in the bonus for quite a while. Up top for Hobbs, dribble with the left hand. Kick to the corner. Maddie Nolan's 3, left short.
That was a good look right there. I mean, she was wide open, but just tough miss for her.
Under a minute to play. Toledo looking to shock the world. Michigan looking to stay undefeated. Wired up near half court, and she's going to call timeout. Great trap there by Michigan. Toledo's going to have 12 seconds left in the shot clock coming out of this timeout.
And these moments, this is kind of where you know this is where you kind of find out, you know, who's for real on your team, who are your big-time playmakers. I mean, it's these moments in the games where you kind of find out who's for real. I mean, if I'm the Wolverines, I'm looking at players like Layla Filia. She had a three-pointer. She's had that wide-open cut to give Michigan the lead. I mean, I think you have to start going to her, you know, down the stretch. But it really starts here in the defensive end. Toledo has the ball. They're up 1. Wolverines got to keep the intensity up. That's all we can do. You just keep the intensity up and just hope for the best. You're only down 1, and we're in for an exciting finish, aren't we?
45.7 seconds left in the ball game. 12 seconds on the shot clock. It's going to be Toledo ball on the sign opposite the scorer's table. Lockett to inbound. Gets it in cleanly to Wired. 10 seconds on the shot clock now. Wired dribbling it out near the logo. 5 seconds. Driving with the right hand. Long skip pass. McConowitz puts it up at the shot clock buzzer. It's going to be off the side of the backboard. Shot clock violation. Michigan ball. 2.7 seconds separating the shot clock and game clock. Michigan going to hold this one for as long as possible, and they're going to call timeout here to advance to half court and draw a play up.
You have to wonder what play is Kim Barnes going to run? Who are they going to go to? It seems like they have the chance to kind of wear out the shot clock for 30 seconds. The Wolverines will probably have the opportunity to take the last shot of the game. And yeah, I mean, here we go. You have a shot to win it. You have your playmakers. They've been good all night. Maybe draw the foul as well. It'll be interesting to see where they go for sure.
.7 seconds left in this ball game. Toledo up by 1. They've led for 35.5 minutes of the 39.5 played so far.
I mean, if the Wolverines are able to pull this game out, this will be, I don't want to say lucky, but lucky is a strong word, but you have to use a word like that to describe it. I mean, this is what you call sneaking out a win. One of those games where you probably shouldn't have won. Toledo played like the better team. Even despite this lead, Toledo has played like the better team, but Michigan has a chance, and that just comes back to the talent they have and kind of just resembling the team from last year. So here we go.
The Rockets, preseason, almost unanimous selection to win the MAC again. Looking to make this the 4th straight road win. Michigan looking to stay undefeated. They've got the ball in front of their own bench. 32.7 seconds left in the game. A perfect 30 on the shot clock. The Wolverines are down by 1. Michigan gets the ball right away inside to Kaiser. Dribbles once with the left hand, now up top for Kampschrader. Lob pass inside for Brown. Turnaround jumper from the elbow, and it goes! Michigan leads by 1. Shot clock's dead. 20 seconds, .3. Toledo calls timeout. This one's going to come down to the very last shot, and Michigan has to stay on their assignments. Toledo has had 4 opportunities in this fourth quarter alone where they've had cutters wide and I mean wide open underneath the basket.
Most definitely. But what a big-time shot by Brown right there. I mean, before that shot, she was 2 for 11. 2 for 11 from the field, but has the guts to take a contested mid-range 2 and capitalizes. Big-time shot right there, and Wolverines up 1. And like you said, you can't fall asleep on the defensive end. You can't give Toledo any easy opportunities. You ideally don't want to foul either, because then Toledo goes in the bonus. So here we go. 20.3 seconds for a chance to stay undefeated.
Michigan looking to advance to 10-0. Toledo looking to shock the world. It's going to be Goss to inbound. Gets it into Wire. She's been red hot all game. Throws inside. Tipped out of bounds. It's going to stay Toledo ball, and Leah Brown instantly calling for a replay. This one's going to be close.
Let's see if we can see the replay here.
The pass was to a cutting McConowitz. Kaiser was right there on the defense. No replay up there yet on the big board, showing some fans dancing in the stands. This replay could mean the ball game. 16.9 seconds left on the game clock. Michigan up by 1.
Toledo's huddling up as if it's going to be their ball.
We're going to delay a bit longer as the third referee sent over there to
Yeah,
get a second
he
opinion.
said, no, maybe let's look at it again. It looked close. It looked close from the first view we saw it live. So, fortunately, we're not getting a replay here.
After the replay, it's going to be Toledo ball. They're going to inbound underneath their own basket. 16.9 seconds left in the game. Michigan leads by 1. Both teams have a timeout if they need it. McConowitz gets the lob pass right away. Driving downhill with the right hand. Up and it's good. Toledo leads by 1. Michigan calls timeout. If there's any silver lining here for Michigan, is that Toledo scored very quickly.
Very quickly. And they're going to have 13.6. I mean, that's enough time to draw a play up and run your offense. But even though she was guarding McConowitz, I mean, she had a full head of steam, just kind of blew right by the defender and got an easy layup. We talked about how we don't want to see wide open looks. Michigan's kind of had mistakes on defense. And though she was kind of covered, I mean, you kind of saw it again. Just go attack the Wolverines straight up and easy finish for her. Toledo takes the lead.
So a 1-point Michigan swing leads to a 1-point Toledo swing.
Yep.
We're going to do pretty much the exact same scenario, just on the other end here. It'll be Michigan ball on the side. 13.6 seconds left in the ball game. Toledo leads by 1.
What a game this has been. It's been a pleasure to call.
Need to get the ball inbounds quickly here. And if you're Toledo, you cannot foul because that'll send Michigan to the free throw line. Leah Brown to inbound. Pass gets in cleanly to Felia. Right back to Leah Brown. Inside for Kaiser. Squares up to the basket. Now inside for Brown. Turnaround jumper. This one off the front of the rim. Toledo pulls down the rebound. McConowitz drops it, and there's a foul called. Leah Brown got the look she wanted and put it off the front of the rim.
What's unfortunate, too, is the Wolverines don't have any timeouts either, so they won't be able to advance they won't get to draw up a play either.
Kaiser had to step out of the post to catch the pass. Leah Brown with a mid-post turnaround jumper back to the basket. That was the shot she made to put Michigan up by 1. And if you're Toledo here, I think you want to miss the second.
Yep.
The first one drops for McConowitz. If you're Toledo, I would clear out here. You do not want to get a loose ball foul and send Michigan to the free throw line. Toledo knocks down the second. Michigan's going to have to go 94 feet with 3 seconds left. Kaiser running the baseline. Throws it long for Felia. Catching it half court. Dribbles once. Puts up a shot at the buzzer. Leaves it short. Toledo knocks off undefeated Michigan. A 13-game winning streak extends one more. 14 straight wins on the road for Toledo, and they have shocked everyone here in Ann Arbor.
From the crowd, you would think this is a Toledo home game. I mean, just crazy. A crazy game. Props to the Rockets, though. The entire team came out to play, and they played an incredible game. They led for most of the game. They were hitting their shots, played great defense, and just a big-time win for the program.
Toledo shot the lights out today. 50% from the floor, 46.7 from beyond the arc. A perfect 12 of 12 from the free throw line.
And if you're the Wolverines, you're just going to look back to those couple defensive plays that Toledo got wide open, a couple of tough breaks, three-pointers going in and out. You're going to look back to those small plays, and that's ultimately what gets you a win. So, gotta buckle up, and it's on to the next one if you're Michigan.
The final score from Crisler Center in Ann Arbor. Toledo Rockets 71. Michigan drops their first ball game of the year to a score of 71-68. Signing off for WCBN Sports, for Charlie Brigham, William Gregory, and Vinayak Swaroop, we'd like to thank you for listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan women's basketball. Again, make sure to stay tuned for all of our coverage as we have plenty more to come. Men's basketball, women's basketball, some more college football as we head down to Arizona for the college football playoff as Michigan faces off against TCU. But for tonight, that's all from us. Leaving you as we always do with a good night